everyone, my name is Sachin Sinha, and today I have one of the most active and charming personalities in the machine tool industry with me. Probably you can see him already. His name is none other than Tony Gunn. Tony, thank you so much for being on this short and crisp discussion with me. And how is it going for you?
Life? Or
Yes,
shows?
yeah,
or
maybe
work?
life. Yeah, life, yes.
Man, I got no complaints, and I tried complaining once, and then nobody listened. In fact, people walked away, so I stopped complaining.
That's the irony of life.
And I went back to telling people everything's good.
Yes,
but
yes.
in reality, it's wonderful. Being an advocate, a supporter of manufacturing, and being of service to an industry that I truly enjoy, and helping people share their voice. My heart is always happiest when I'm of service, and I've found a current role in this world, in this industry that truly brings me joy. And being able to talk about it here with you and having the opportunity to interview other people, this does bring me a sense of happiness day in and day out. So for me, I am living a dream. And when people ask me how I'm doing and I say happy and grateful, I mean it. It's not just fake, it's not just made up. I truly enjoy each of these moments in life. So thank you for asking about my life.
Great, Tony. So, you keep on traveling. You meet a lot of people all across the world. You go to different countries, and you supposed to be one of the most happening personalities on LinkedIn, I would say. At least in my network and probably in other networks also. I have question for you. What kind of you are very much connected to the industry, right? What kind of momentum do you see in the industry going forward?
Sachin, are we talking global, or are we talking in
global.
a specific
We're
nation?
talking global.
It's a really good question, because on a global scale, I would say that a lot of people out there right now, as we walk around, we're standing in front of TIMTOS. Yes. We're meeting now in Taiwan, right? And we walk around, and as we walk through the show, we see a lot of people with their own cameras and their own little lighting fixtures, making their own little selfie videos. And so I would say that, and both men and women, right? And that's what we want to see, and diversity of all kinds, shapes, sizes, people. And that's what we want to see. So as a general idea and concept, without really knowing the truth, but making an assumption, and assumptions can sometimes be bad, but making an assumption, I would say that there is some forms of excitement as a global idea. If we're a bird looking down right now on what manufacturing is and can be, I would say that there is some excitement, there is some passion, there is some desire for this world to get recognized for what it truly does for everyone around us and everything that it touches around us. If we break it down into nations, there are some nations that are a little slower right now, and some nations that are a bit more active. You come from India, I come from the US. The US is certainly going through a push right now. India is probably the fastest growing right now with everything that's going on there, and so we certainly see it firsthand. I go to other countries where it's a little slower, and manufacturing, who really cares? There's other avenues where we can find some work, but as a general global idea, we're starting to understand that when we think about medical, defense, aerospace, all of these avenues where manufacturing is so incredibly significant, we realize that people, not only the introverted, brilliant minds that make stuff and have for generations, but there's an excited, extroverted passion about it now. Well, we're starting to talk about it, and I think that's a good thing.
Tony, you mentioned about industries like aerospace, medical, and energy. And now also in time to come, we see that the complexity of the components is kind of increasing, right? Now, keeping this on one side and keeping on the other side the evolution of the machine tools, the way the machine tools are being designed for the futuristic purposes. This production of the machine tools or the research and development of the machine tool side vis-a-vis the consumption of the machine tools for these complex components. How do you see these two being balanced? Do you see there's a gap, or do you see these are kind of balanced in a good way?
Well,
going forward,
I would say, and that's a good question, and I don't know if I know I'm not a machine sales tool person, right? But I get to talk with a lot of these folks, and you'll hear some people say, machine tool sales are down, and some people will say we're doing really well, and everyone talks about the evolution of machines, and I would say the majority of people and shops and sales guys out there and sales ladies out there, they talk about how my machine or said machine, fill in the blank machine, can allow you to do something faster, more precise, in one go, right? So the 5-axis machining, or these turrets, or these turning centers out there with multi-turrets and multi-spindles, and let's just say the ability to do more inside of one machine without having to move it from machine to machine to machine. Now we're starting to take in automation.
Yes.
We're also starting to take in AI. We're starting to take in machine monitoring, and the ability to run at sub-micron levels to remove extracurricular work from whether it be human finishing or automated finishing or whatever it might be. So if I'm thinking about the goal, and the goal is to do more within one machine, more accurately with less secondary, third, fourth operations, does that ultimately remove the overall amount of machines, which I think is the question you're asking me? I think it has to, because when I was a machinist, I started machining back in 2000, Sachin, and I was just talking to someone about this today, and we had 5 machines to make one part. We would do different operation on each of those machines, and we would have 5 operators in order to run those 5 machines.
Yeah.
Now we have one machine to do even more operations than that. So if I'm a machine sales tool man or woman, I would have sold 5 machines previously. Now I'm selling one machine. Now those 5 machines might have been 25% of the cost of this one machine. So maybe overall, the financial investments that go into it are going to be equal or more in order to create shops that are, as we're now calling it, 5.0. Who knows what words we're going to make up in the future, but as we're starting to call it this more advanced technology, when we do this, there might be a little bit more financial investment that goes into it. There's going to be less machine tools or products overall sold, but at the end of the day, we're producing more, we're making more money, it's price per part, and at the end of the day, I think we're all winning this way.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I think very rightly put, Tony. I mean, subjects like, artificial intelligence, automation, machine learning, blockchain, and so on and so forth. These are big subjects. I mean, it's very difficult to say how much they are becoming or will become reality on the ground, on the machine shop floors. But yeah, I mean, one thing is for sure, that every machine tool user or every component manufacturer needs a productive system on their shop floors. They need less, they want to spend less space and also less money for the same production output. And yes, I mean, we really have to see in time and years to come how it goes. With this, Tony, I really thank you so much for having this crisp discussion with me. Thank you so much for your time. I know that you got to leave, but you still, took out time to have this discussion with me. I wish you a very good time. That's what I can say for now. Thank you so much.
Sachin, you are a longtime friend, and I want to continue for many more years. So it is my honor and pleasure to join you, and I'll always make time for you.
I look forward to having an Indian lunch or dinner soon with you in India. Thank you so much.